Hi everyone, Mike Stuchiner, Master Herbalist here with Z Natural Foods, and today's topic of this video is going to be answering the question, do cordyceps powders really work? But before we get started, two quick things I should mention. One is, if you'd like more information about me, you can go to my YouTube channel at A Master Herbalist's Perspective, or you can go to znaturalfoods.com to see more of my videos and articles on a wide range of topics: tonics, adaptogens, functional foods, spices, all kinds of great stuff. Next is the medical disclaimer. The information you're about to receive is for educational purposes only and is not intended to treat, prescribe, or diagnose any specific or general medical conditions. It is also not intended to be a substitution for your primary healthcare provider's information, diagnosis, or treatment plan. With that said, let's get started. So, in order to answer this question of do cordyceps mushroom powders work? In order to answer that question correctly, it's vital to understand how we evaluate the effectiveness of any substance we use. And more importantly, if there is a specific criteria for how an individual should assess their progress and results. The average individual consumes stimulants like coffee, or caffeine, I should say, on a daily basis because it effectively boosts energy levels for a short period of time. Quick FYI for you all, a cup of coffee or tea differs significantly from using caffeine in an isolated form because coffee and tea contains nourishing polyphenolic compounds that provide great nourishment to the body and help to balance out the effects of what coffee and tea do within the body. Pharmaceuticals are also fast-acting isolated compounds created to have a specific targeted approach through particular mechanisms of action with a somewhat predictable end result. For example, if you take 2 Tylenol or Advil to reduce pain or get rid of a headache, it does that for most people in 30 minutes or less. As individuals, though, we may each respond slightly different, but the bottom line is they both work. The question is, at what cost? Because we are all different regarding where we are physically and emotionally, it's challenging to provide what one would consider specific guidelines. Therefore, here are some what I like to call golden rules you should consider following in order to keep things in perspective when looking at time frames and results when you use foods and herbs. So, first, medicinal mushrooms, herbs, and food do not work like pharmaceuticals or isolate compounds because they contain a litany of natural compounds that work synergistically, potentially supporting a more balanced, subtle end result. They work on multiple mechanisms of action, whereas isolated compounds tend to focus on only one. Next, everyone is in a different place mentally, physically, and emotionally. These factors consistently change based on many aspects of your lifestyle. Therefore, these factors may change the time frame and outcome of your results. Number 3, as mentioned just before, our society uses caffeine-based beverages like energy drinks, coffee, and tea, providing a powerful and effective short-term burst of energy. Therefore, this may in fact skew our perspective into believing everything should work as quickly or be as powerful. Concentration levels, the final thing is concentration levels of a product are essential when looking at the appropriate amount to use and evaluating the time frame and overall end results. So it's vital that you are very much aware of the product you're taking, how strong of a concentration the product provides to you. Is it a 1-to-1, a 10-to-1, or is it even weaker, let's say like a 1-to-4 or 1-to-10? Next, in order to recognize if cordyceps work, it's vital to understand the principles behind tonic herbalism, where cordyceps play a very significant role. Tonic herbalism is a complex system that looks at 6 vital factors. The first is oneness and the unity of everything, which basically states humans, nature, organs, and the mind and body all function as one. Number 2 is yin and yang, which are opposing forces within the whole, but those opposing forces are always looking for the perfect balance. 3, the 3 treasures: Jing, the essence of life; Shen, the core of emotions, excuse me, stored in the heart; and Qi, the circulating life force. Number 4, the 4 seasons. Adapting to seasonal changes, synchronizing with nature's yin and yang, which is a rather complex way or extended way of saying, looking at how the balance of nature during each season, how our bodies have to accommodate during each one of those seasons. The 5th is the 5 elements theory of traditional Chinese medicine. And that states that the world is made up of the fundamental elements: metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, all of which create cyclical changes throughout the year and throughout your life. And the 5th and final is the Chinese organ system. In TCM, organ systems go beyond the boundaries of anatomy. All organs are integrated units based on circulation, utilization of qi, and how it manifests. Whether it is TCM or Western herbal medicine, there are vital distinctions between medicinals and tonics. In simple terms, tonics are made to be taken daily over a lifetime to build and restore. So plenty of reserves will therefore exist. A medicinal formula is often only used long enough to help reinstate a level of balance. If used longer than necessary, they begin to pull from the body and potentially cause new deficiency or excess imbalances. So, cordyceps mushrooms, that's what we're here to really talk about, right? Research for its ability to support vitality and performance, strengthen the body, mind, and support a healthy stress response. This elite level Jing tonic and superstar of the mushroom world is categorized as an actual adaptogen and revered by tonic herbalists worldwide. Sweet in flavor, warm in temperature, cordyceps is famous in TCM for nourishing both yin and yang, supporting the kidneys and lungs, supporting life capacity and life force reserves, and is considered a fantastic tonifier of qi. You won't have to search far to see that cordyceps is regarded as one of the greats in traditional Chinese tonic medicine, right next to ginseng, reishi, deer antler tips, and sasandra berry. Cordyceps, it has a treasure trove of bioactive compounds like all other medicinal mushrooms. Some of the primary ones which have been researched and thought to create cordyceps life-supporting effects are nucleosides, polysaccharides, sterols, amino acids, polypeptides, and cordycepsin. A double-blind, placebo-controlled study using 28 individuals examined whether acute and chronic supplementation of cordyceps improves tolerance to high-intensity exercise. It was concluded that acute supplementation of Cordyceps militaris containing mushroom blend may improve tolerance to high-intensity exercise, but greater benefits may be elicited with consistent chronic supplementation. Cordyceps, a true adaptogen. Adaptogens are a supportive tool for managing a healthy stress response through non-specific physiological reactions. What makes all adaptogens unique is their ability to adapt to harsh conditions in which they are grown. This adaptability allows them to thrive and become robust plants. As research on adaptogen has been compiled over the years, herbalists and scientists have learned and concluded how each adaptogen's energy, whether it's warming, cooling, drying, or moistening, and constituents balance, has allowed them to be used in a more specific, targeted way. Medicinal mushrooms contain a wide array of nourishing compounds that work synergistically to support overall well-being. While all mushrooms have certain nutritive qualities in common, they also have unique attributes, allowing them to support and uniquely focus on an individual system. Plants and fungi are often categorized based on their functional quality. Unfortunately, many plants and fungi are called adaptogens even though they don't fulfill the criteria that define what an actual adaptogen is. So, to answer the question, this general question of do cordyceps mushroom powders work, it's essential to understand the requirements of how an adaptogen is defined and how they work. The following are the primary points that define what a plant or fungi must do to be considered an adaptogen. 1. Be non-toxic at clinical dosage. 2. Increase the resistance of hormonal and immune systems to all kinds of stressors through a non-specific physiological response. And 3. Normalize body function no matter how external stressors have altered them. We have learned that what makes plants and fungi an actual adaptogen is that they must work through one or both of the body's master control systems. The first is the HPA axis, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, is a complex system of neuroendocrine pathways and feedback loops that maintain and support homeostasis in response to chronic stress. The HPA axis interfaces with the endocrine, nervous, immune, digestive, reproductive, and cardiovascular system. The other master system is the SAS, sympatho-adrenal system, aka your fight or flight. Is a complex system that connects the sympathetic nervous system to the adrenal medulla. In simple terms, it's our flight or fight response. A triggered response floods our system with adrenaline and releases hormones, epinephrine and norepinephrine from the adrenal medulla. This response increases blood pressure, blood sugar, and heart rate and suppresses digestion. This releasing of hormones and redistribution of blood allows the mind and body to respond and survive. One final area that's essential to understand is the difference between the mycelium and the fruiting body of a mushroom. The above ground portion of what is known as a mushroom is called the fruiting body. In simple terms, the fruiting bodies are like an orange to an orange tree. This is the end stage of the life cycle and where the reproductive process occurs by releasing more spores back into the environment and restarting this life cycle of mushrooms. Fruiting bodies often exist for only a few days before disappearing, representing about 5% of the total process. Because fruiting bodies have been the primary focus of research worldwide, they are believed to be the primary powerhouse portion of the fungi where all the nourishing compounds are found. For example, Cordyceps contain a treasure trove of bioactive compounds, like, as stated earlier, nucleosides, polysaccharides, sterols, amino acids, polypeptides, and cordycepsin. A review discussing mushroom compounds as immunomodulators concluded that their broad spectrum potential for supporting a healthy immune system response qualifies them as candidates for immune modulation and immunotherapy. The underground portion of the fungi are called mycelium. In simple terms, mycelium is biomass. Just as mushrooms are not mycelium, mycelium is not mushrooms. In this area of research, it's believed that all compounds found in high concentration of the fruiting body, like polysaccharides, are not the only driving force behind what makes mushrooms such powerful tonic foods. The working hypothesis behind mycelium research is that by consuming mycelium, you are ingesting the energy force or precursor for what creates the fruit itself. Mycelium is the primary plant portion of the mushroom and the longest living part of the organism. This represents 95% of the life cycle. It is also basically known as the underground communications system. As more science emerges, we are learning about novel compounds in mycelium that may have the ability to change the face of modern medicine in unique ways. This area of mushroom science is fascinating for its unlimited potential. In conclusion, yes, 100%, cordyceps mushroom powders do work. While medicinal mushrooms all have similar general constituents like a wide array of polysaccharides, attributes, and the ability to nourish in common, they all have their own unique way. Cordyceps mushrooms have a wonderful, rich usage history and are revered and well respected worldwide as powerful tonics. Because of their nourishing qualities, cordyceps have been and will continue to be the focus of research for many years to come. Their unique attributes, unlimited potential, and untapped information we are continuously learning about are what makes cordyceps very intriguing. This is Mike Stuccino, Master Herbalist with Z Natural Foods. I'll see you next time.